If you have ADHD, focusing harder is probably the worst thing you can try to do if you're trying to get something done. And if you ever felt lazy, broken, or incapable because you can't focus, this video might completely change how you see your brain. And let's get into it. Today, I'm going to show you why focus is the wrong goal for ADHD and what actually works instead. I'm going to give you actionable solutions. Short video, watch it. This will change your life. All right, so first, let's talk about relatable pain. I relate to this as an ADHD person. So if you have ADHD, you've probably tried all the classics. You've done planners, you've done time blocking, Pomodoro, just remove distractions, just sit down and focus, and maybe it works. Maybe, for like a couple days, then it collapses and you think, so what's wrong with me? So here's the truth. ADHD is not a focus deficit. It's a regulation problem. So why focus fails? Your brain isn't bad at focusing. It's bad at deciding what to focus on, when, and for how long. And that's why you can, when it's interesting, hyper-focus for 6 hours on something that you find stimulating. You can start a 10-minute task, though, that feels boring. Same reason. So when people tell you, just focus, what they're really saying is, force your brain to work against how it's wired. That's like telling a car with no traction control to just grip the road harder. It just doesn't work. So stop chasing focus. That's the core idea of this video. Here's a shift that changed everything for me and for a lot of people with ADHD. Stop trying to focus. Start designing for momentum. Focus is an outcome. Momentum is the input. So what do you want to do instead if you're thinking about momentum-based execution? So the first step is lower the start cost, make it easier to start. ADHD brains don't struggle with work. They struggle with starting. So instead of asking, can I focus on this for an hour? Ask, what's the smallest version of this that I can start? So for example, open a document, write one sentence, respond to one email. Set a 5-minute timer, short, okay? Momentum doesn't need motivation. It needs movement. An object in motion tends to remain in motion. This works here too, this principle, okay? All right, second step. Increase the stimulation, but on purpose. So most productivity advice says remove stimulation, right? ADHD productivity says add the right stimulation. So for example, get some background music you like, your body movement if it's part of it, working in short bursts, urgency, timers, deadlines, public commitment. These are great for people with ADHD because when stimulation goes up, your focus will follow automatically. That's just the way your brain is wired as an ADHD person. All right, third step. Real quick, work in sprints and not sessions. So stop planning a perfect workday. Forget that. That's too long. Start stacking execution sprints. For example, a 10 or 20-minute burst. That's a sprint. You quit before you burn out, right? You go from A to B, you get it done, you're out of there. And you leave that momentum unfinished because you've decided to stop, but there's more, but there's momentum now. You don't want to exhaust that focus, okay? You want to preserve that momentum so that you can go back to it and do another sprint when you need to continue working. So next piece that you have to realize, this is taking a step back and up, if you will. Here's the part that most people never will hear. You're not lazy. You're not undisciplined. You're not broken. You've just been taught to use tools designed for a different brain type, a neurotypical brain. ADHD brains don't win by trying harder. That's not how we're built. They win by designing smarter environments. When you stop fighting your brain, execution becomes easier than resistance. All right, so if you take nothing else away from this video, take this. Stop chasing focus. It's not going to work for you if you're an ADHD person, especially a high-performing ADHD person. Start chasing momentum, like we were talking about in the earlier, and rewind the video if you need to remind yourself what that means. Lower your starting costs. Lower that barrier of entry so you can get momentum going, so you can start moving forward. Add stimulation as appropriate, whatever it is that works for you, be it music, background, movement, whatever it is. And work in those short sprints so that you don't lose your focus, your natural ADHD focus, and now you've used momentum to engage. You don't lose that. You work in it. That's it. That's the basic system to get stuff done and stop trying to focus. Okay. All right. If that's helped you, let me know in the comments. What's the one task that you've been stuck avoiding? Put it in the comments, and maybe we can come up with a solution together. I'd love to respond to you. And if you want more ADHD friendly execution systems and not generic productivity advice, subscribe to this channel. Okay. That's exactly what this channel is about. And if you want personal one-on-one help building this for your own life, or you have perhaps a group of people that you think would benefit from this, that's exactly what we do inside Rise 41 Systems Coaching. There's a link below. Follow it, book yourself a free discovery session, 15-30 minutes, no charge. We'll talk, we'll see if you're a good fit. Maybe I can help you. So, because you don't need more willpower, this is the important thing for you to understand. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You need systems that actually work with your brain, that allow you to do the things that you're wired to do, that will allow you to weaponize that brain. Okay. So, ADHD productivity isn't about focusing harder. It's about designing momentum. I'm Gonzalo Herrera, your host at Rise 41. Thank you, and I'm